Hey guys and girls, sorry, put my headphones in, getting locked in. Okay, so we're going live with Chris, and we're going to talk about inflammation. Okay, and we're going to find out what that means, how you can fix it, and yeah, let's get him on board and let's see what the deal is. Okay. So happy it's Thursday. Happy Thursday. If you didn't watch my video yesterday of me eating a stupid amount of food, then jump on the thing and have a look.
Tommy.
Hello, there he is, mate. Hello, mate.
Hey, how you going?
I'm good, mate.
Good. Just had a swimming lesson, just at the shops, and about to do some daddy daycare and some shopping. So let's jump straight in.
Mate, it takes a special kind of person who can educate people while looking after their daughter while going shopping. So just for that, you're a champion.
Yeah. Let's see how we go.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So the question is about inflammation. Now, this is definitely something that is a bit of a buzzword at the moment. And I think a lot of people are a little bit confused about what that actually means. So what is inflammation and what causes it?
Sure thing. Look, I think we first need to, state that this is an inflammation caused by, say, rolling your ankle or kicking your toe. What we mean by inflammation is a systemic, underlying sort of misdiagnosed or undiagnosed level of cellular and internal inflammation. And this is caused by a whole host of things predominantly, and we'll go through it. We'll go through them all. Diet. So, poor diet, things like gluten, things like trans fatty acids, high carbohydrates, highly processed foods, highly processed carbohydrates in particular, cause excessive internal inflammation. They're now sort of considering that inflammation is one of the primary causes of a significant amount of modern illnesses, or what they call mismatch diseases. And that mismatch is just in regards to evolutionary disposition and how mismatched that is to current lifestyle trends.
Yeah.
So with that inflammation, it's often unseen. Excuse me. It's often unseen and just left to take care of itself. And inflammation can present itself as things like anxiety, depression, things like brain fog, so waking up tired, waking up hard to get go, inability to do exercise. It can also be a bit more, insidious, where it's like, hey, you're training consistently, but every few weeks you seem to get injured. And what that is looking at a whole host of different causes of this. So there's nutrition side of things. If you're having a highly processed diet, that's going to cause a lot of cellular inflammation because you're not getting the nutrients you need, and you're highly inflamed gut lining, highly inflamed brain, and highly inflamed physiology. We then need to look at things like stress. Stress is one of the big causes of low-level inflammation. That constant stimulation of the fight or flight response just causes you to be just hyper all the time. You're never able to calm down. The next thing is excessive high intensity or excessive physical and endurance style training. So, when we're constantly grinding, you'll find that you'll go okay for a little while, then you'll crash and burn. And this is just that low-lying sort of inflammation causing that. And the final thing is poor sleep. Sleep is when we repair, we regenerate, and we heal all these low-lying sort of issues. So if you've got a poor diet, if you're highly stressed, if you're excessively training on top of all that, or not training, and if you're unable to manage sleep, then you're just setting yourself up for just a constant low-grade inflammation. So the ways around this is just to tackle all of the causes. So instead of treating the illnesses that pop up as a result of that inflammation, you go and you treat the root causes of this. So we address nutrition. So look at appropriate macronutrient breakdown, so appropriate protein content, appropriate fat content, and appropriate carbohydrate content based on your output and exercise activities. Then, more importantly, look at the micronutrient content of your food. So, beetroot for the nitrates to help with your blood, magnesium from all your leafy green vegetables, etc. Get as colourful and diverse range of vegetables as possible to hit that micronutrient content. Following on from that, then look at the quality of your food. You know, can you sort of get, you know, good quality produce in season, etc. Then we want to tackle stress. We really want to manage how much stress and how prolonged that stress is, and try to really mitigate the damages of psychological and emotional stress. Then we need to mix up our exercise by doing high intensity work, strength work, combined with aerobic recovery work, combined with you know, stretching and breathing techniques and all that sort of stuff. And then finally, invest in your sleep. So invest effort in making your sleep as good as possible. And so, you know, you really need to, as I said, invest in that. And those are the ways that you can really best tackle inflammation.
And what are sort of just a few more sort of examples? What, like, examples of people that do suffer from inflammation? Like, you know, what's sort of like an everyday thing that you tend to see with people that have this issue?
Sure. The most common thing that I see with just high levels of inflammation is neurological conditions. So brain fog, inability to concentrate, running out of energy, you know, high levels of stress that can't come down. So it's okay to get stressed in response to a stressful situation, but then, you know, 15 hours later, are you still freaking out over it? So that's probably one of the most common. The other most common group of people that I get stress in, or that I get inflammation in, is professional athletes. These guys aren't healthy. All right, they butcher themselves in day out. They get fed this belief that they need to consume 60, 70, 80% carbohydrates. I've got guys that were consuming 900 or 600 plus,
grams.
800 plus grams of carbohydrates. So 2,500, 3,000 calories a day of carbohydrates. Like, that's unattainable. That
what
level
sort of athletes were they?
You know, carbohydrate load, swimmers, rugby players, etc. So you just don't need that. You know, so it was the same process with these guys. You know, moderate that, look at the micronutrient intake of food, and seek alternate sources of fueling. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a big believer in exogenous ketones. You know, you can put it in an alternate fuel source. And it reduces their carbohydrate need. It also goes in there and actively reduces inflammation. But then we also looked at things like breathing. We looked at things like stress management, sleep management, and also their emotional lives. And this goes not only to professional athletes, but, you know, a couple of big bankers that I work with, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and you know, I think a good takeaway from this is that you know, it's never ever one thing, is it? It's always a combination of things, whether you're unhealthy or whether you are healthy. That, like, you don't get healthy from just going to the gym. You don't get healthy from just eating a piece of broccoli. You know, you don't get overweight and stressed out and inflamed by eating one burger, or, you know, having a bad day. It's all an accumulation, right? And that's a really good point to sort of say that, you know, these things that we talk about, especially like things like, you know, ketogenic diet, exogenous ketones, that sort of stuff. This is in, everything has to work together. You know, it's not just one little thing. There's not one magic bullet, because if there was, there would be, you know, everyone would be fine, right? So it's all about
and
getting all those things to work together.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I try to very much steer away from, like, let's do a 12-week shred. You know, we don't really need that. What we need to focus on is, and this is one of the big claims that I make, is health is accumulation. You know,
that's
disease
great.
is accumulation. And that's exactly how I pitch it to someone. Hey, Chris, I want to get really fit and strong and healthy. Okay, you need to accumulate 1,000 little wins. So you need to eat well at breakfast, well at dinner. Hey, you had a bad breakfast the next day. Okay, let's fix that up. You need to accumulate lifestyle. Thank you, Dom Tisha. You need to, you know, address your lifestyle issues and implement them on a day-to-day practice. And you need to accumulate wins with exercise. And you need to then break down the accumulation of ill health with good health steps.
That's awesome, man. Like that I think that in itself, what you just said there, that health is an accumulation, and that sort of goes in with consistency. But it's interesting. I was reading the Primal,
picture.
yeah, and I was reading the Primal book by the Primal Blueprint, and he says about like the consistency, like sometimes that actually leads to overstressing, right? But realistically, like when instead of using the word consistency, you use the word accumulation, because you accumulate like healthy habits and healthy lifestyle, exercise, good eating, and all that sort of stuff. I think that's a much better way of looking at it. So that's awesome. We'll leave it on that, mate. So thank you very much for those nuggets of information.
Thanks from Gwen and I. We're going to go do our shopping now. You say bye.
Bye.
We will see you shortly. Unimpressed. See you guys.
I see ya.